Hello friends, welcome to my current setup. The lighting's really good here because my bed's right next to the window. So yeah, let's get cozy. I'm gonna flip through all of my sketchbooks. They're not all full. I jump between sketchbooks quite a bit. The reason why this is significant is because I started learning art when I was 20 years old. So it was late 2016. I was turning 21 in a few months and I decided to pick up drawing. So I just wanted to show you guys my progression and hopefully inspire some of you to start learning art if it's something that you were considering but kind of hesitant to, because it is kind of scary to pick up a hobby as an adult and to admit that you suck at it and to just stay motivated despite your frustrations. But I'm here to tell you that it's doable, and hopefully this video slash sketchbook tour thing will inspire you to get started. So yeah, let's dive right in. Oh, also, if you see me skip pages or if you see pages plastered in post-it notes, it's because when I was starting out I copied a lot of fan art, and you know, I don't want to I don't want to get in trouble with anyone, so I just covered them up. Yeah, I was like drawing in every direction. I don't even know what the right side of the sketchbook is. And I was also heavily inspired by some of my favorite series, so Miraculous, Ladybug is one of them. Me trying to draw my sister. She pretended to like it, but I saw the look on her face, okay? She did not feel it. I also started to get more comfortable working with ink, just because when you're starting out, ink is so scary because, you know, you can't erase it. So yeah, color as well. I was afraid to add colors, and I only worked with pencil crayons because that's the only thing I knew at the time. So, but I started to get a tiny bit more comfortable. I remember being really proud of this one at the time. I just thought her pose was on point, even though I knew her hand was like half. I just scribbled on hands, or I hid them too, or I just like drew up to the shoulders because like hands were just too high. My attempt at a braid, I still don't know how to draw braids, so that's what, yeah, if I tried to redraw this today, her hair would probably look the same. I was proud of this one too. You can see her arms pretty off. Her braid looks a little better just because I kind of scribbled it on, so you can't really see really clearly. Oh, I was proud of this one too. I was like, damn girl, her body looks great! Even though I see the issues right now. And once again, hiding the hands. So that's it. So at this point, this was early 2017, I decided to retire this sketchbook because I just wasn't loving it. I didn't like the texture of the paper. yeah, it's just like recycled paper. It's not that great. I wanted something a little more smooth and better quality, so I switched over to the Canson Mixed Media Sketchbook. And I also ended up buying a couple other sketchbooks. So I think shortly after this, I picked up the Strathmore Tone 10 sketchbook, and then I picked up the Tone Gray, and then I picked up a smaller version of the Mixed Media Sketchbook, and I got the Strathmore Vision sketchbook because I wanted to design my own cover, like drawing with waffles. Okay, just a second, I need to blow my nose. Okay, I am back. I'm going to be jumping between these sketchbooks because that's what I did while I was drawing in them. I would just hop from this to that to this. It was kind of a mess, so I'm going to try to stick to the timeline, but it'll be a little bit off. This was my second gouache attempt. See, I made a note, attempted gouache again, monstrosity. So yeah, I've never really touched gouache after this because it kind of got scarred. And this one was more recent. This was just the other day. I decided to draw someone and ink them in one sitting, which was a mistake because I usually walk away before I ink a sketch just to make sure I like how it looks. But yeah, my eyes played tricks on me and I thought it would be amazing. So this is what I ended up with, and I'll probably give this one another attempt in the next couple of days just to see what I can get at. But you know, I'll take any form of practice I can get. So yeah, that concludes this vomit sketchbook. That's what I call it, and I say that with love. And then we jump between these. So I got this one first, but then I wanted something a little smaller to work off of, so I picked up this one. And this is the Pencil Crayon Era. And then I started moving into markers. January 2017. Did I get this sketchbook first? I don't even remember. I wish I put more dates on my sketchbooks. You know what? I have no idea which one, but it was all around the same time, I guess. Like I said, I jumped between them. Oh, I hope this isn't someone's fan art. I'm sorry if it is. Okay. There's Kitty Pryde again, my favorite character, and this was just a random person. April 2017. Oh, and then OK K.O. came out and I started watching it, and I love that series. It's so entertaining, it's so cute, and like the main trio's friendship is it's just friendship goals. I love it. Enid is my favorite character, but K.O. is also adorable. And over here is Katara from Avatar: The Last Airbender. I actually love them, they're so cute. I swear I'm an adult, okay. Physically, at least. Mentally, I'm like, I don't know, a 12-year-old. Oh, and here's my redraw of Ladybug, and I'm still really bad at doing hair. Like, I know I should have taken more time to do this, but I didn't, so what can you do? Also, I have no idea how to mix colors to make skin tones, but I love how this turned out, and I put so much effort into it. I don't even know where I put my other sketchbook. Okay, what the heck? Oh, it's back here. Okay, I'll just show you side by side. Oh shoot, I don't even have a timestamp on this, or a date stamp. Ugh. So this here was late 2016, and this was right at the end of 2017. So I think it was like in either November or December, and you can just see the difference. And this makes me really happy because, you know, I went from this and I really tried to make it look like Marinette from the TV show. Like, I really tried to make it look like her, but it just didn't really work out. I wasn't loving it. So here, like, I mean, you can see the improvement. What are we this is her phone, so Adrikins. Neo and I are at Marinette's Bakery. Want to join? We're making macarons. And she's like disgusted. So. Okay, so when I worked at Ladybug, it was seasonal. So after I left, I was unemployed. So yeah, January 23rd, 2018, first day of unemployment. I don't know who that is, just a random person. And then this was March 2018. So yeah, you can see that I jumped around a lot in this sketchbook. Like, I guess I flipped to some random pages, so the time dates are a little, or the time, what am I saying? The date stamps are like way off, but yeah, this is it. So March 2018, this was a year ago, this is where I was at. That's this sketchbook. And, oh, I don't know which one to go to next. I'm so confused. No, I did that one already. Oh my god. Okay, I'm gonna keep that there. Yeah, let's take a look at this one. Bobblehead, lol. So you know how people have same face syndrome? I have big head syndrome, where I tend to draw my characters with big heads, and I don't even realize it until after. So that's why it's really important for me to step away from my work, because if I don't, half the time they end up being like a total bobblehead. Yeah, I couldn't get the second eye right, and then her head started to look big, and I just kind of gave up. So yeah, I think that's it. So that, and then let's move on. Oh, I don't even know what order to go in. Let's move on to this one. This one was, so I guess I started, is it June? June, yeah, June. Okay, wait, I'm gonna blow my nose again. I'll be right back. Okay, so we're back. This is my D&D character, and I really like how her pose turned out. Still hiding hands, because I like the idea of her clothes being oversized, but I also can't draw hands, or at least I couldn't draw hands. I'm a lot better now, and you'll see. So yeah, it's my character. She's a weather witch, and she controls the weather with her third eye. So yeah, I started using alcohol markers more, and that was in this sketchbook. So like you can kind of see, like in this sketchbook, this is my vomit sketchbook. This one here was when I was getting into pencil crayons. So I was using this paper, and it really brought out the color. And then when I moved into markers and watercolors, I went back to the mixed media paper. So that's why I grabbed this sketchbook here. It was supposed to be a self-portrait. I decided to do a red background, which was a mistake because it makes me look like a serial killer. So yeah. Oh, this was more recent. I cut it out to cover up whatever was behind here. I don't even want to look. But yeah, this was in December 2018, so this one was just a few months ago. It's more recent, and I'm really happy with it. Like, I really wanted to draw someone's hair blowing in the wind, but I usually do like this direction here. Oh, so this was December 2018. This one here was December 2017. So you can see the improvement here as well. Like, not too shabby. But yeah, I usually draw wind blowing people's hair from the front, but I thought it would be an interesting challenge to do it from behind, and I wanted to draw someone with flowery hair, and I tried making her skin cooler to balance out the heat, or the warmth of her hair. So yeah, I'm still really happy with this one. I don't know what order this all goes in. And this is a little avatar I drew. You know what? I'm gonna bounce over to this sketchbook here to try to catch up to this one, and then we'll just go back and forth because it's a little timeline kind of skewed right now. So yeah, we're jumping back, jumping back to December 2017. This was something I drew while I was working at that store, Lazy One, and I was just frustrated, so I was running away. Yeah, I usually like working at that store, but there were just some days that really got to me, so this was one of them. At least it inspired artwork. And I kind of messed up. Let's see. Ooh. Yeah. I don't know what's going on over there, but let's cover that up again. had, oh, I really wanted a Star Butterfly pop figure, so I decided to design one, and I actually bought one recently. Let me show you. Got her. They actually made them. I'm so excited when they got out. So I got her top, his mark in the back, and then I have Ladybug and Noir here. Once again, just a friendly reminder, I am 23, okay? I will show you my birth certificate. I'm 23, I swear. And this here was done in February 2018, and this was actually a redraw of what I showed you in my first sketchbook. So this was a redraw of this one here. You can really see the difference. Yeah, and this was about a year later. I can't remember if I drew this in late 2016 or early 2017, but it was within those months. So yeah, this is my level of improvement. Still can't really draw hands, but you know, put it in whatever that is. And you can see my ball head problem. But I really liked how her hair turned out. I liked how it was like, it just looks really nice and soft and thick and lush. So I was really happy with this. I actually removed it from my sketchbook and I put it on my bulletin board. And then, okay, you know what, I'm gonna flip back to this because, yeah, I think we're caught up. This was in December of 2018. So, yeah, so after a while, I started working this, and then I went to this, and then I went back to this, so that's why the time is weird. This was inspired by my lateness because I was literally running like every day, or at least in a rush to get out. I wasn't like always late, but I was always in a rush, just trying to beat the clock. I was really happy with this. This kickstarted my love for drawing jeans. I used to hate drawing jeans because I had no idea how to draw them, and I also hate wearing jeans, so I was like, I'm not gonna put my characters in them because I hate jeans. But I love drawing them. It's so much fun, and I also love what I did with her hair. No, she doesn't have pupils apparently, but this was a stylistic choice, even though I also can't really draw hair like super curly hair, but I love how it turned out. I love it all. That is it. And finally, we're on to the last sketchbook. This here was actually a redraw of this one and this one. So I started focusing more on concept and expression, and I realized that it's windy and she's in a dress, she's probably gonna be cold. So that's what I tried to embody here. But you could see like the general improvements. So yeah, there was this, and then a year in between here, and then a year after that, or almost a year. This was February 2018. This was December 2018. So about 10 months. There's this one, and I was really happy with it. I'm still really happy with how it turned out. Okay, this is after I watched She-Ra, and I don't love how she turned out, and I'm actually really unhappy with this. And I love the pose, but then as I kept working on it, I felt like it got progressively worse. Then again, I'm not loving her face. But after this, I started to improve quite a bit. Here is line art of Carmen Sandiego, and it was my first time experimenting with this kind of line work, like really thick and bold, and I love how it turned out. This is one of my favorite pieces just because it's so different from a lot of the other art pieces that oh my god, I can't even speak. Ooh, okay, I'm gonna take another short break. Just 1 second. Okay, so I went back to these pages because this was around the same time that I drew these guys, except the year before, so almost exactly a year before. This one was February 2018, January 2018, and March 2018, just so you kind of have an idea of where I'm at now and the level of improvement. So, and I still think this one's really good. I just feel like she looks a little stiff, and her hair looks a little stiff. So maybe I'll try redrawing this as well, just to see where I'm at this point. I need to make a list of everything I'm planning to redraw. Let me open this up. Okay. This was me trying to capture expression, and I went on a trip, so I was abroad when I drew this, and the stars were just incredible because I stayed on a farm, so they were really bright, and that's what inspired this one here. And I put more emphasis on hands and feet, and also expression, so hopefully you could tell that she's like really, really enjoying herself. So you can see that I started to step away from fan art. Like, this has some semblance of Miraculous Ladybug because it's an Akuma, but this character is not from Miraculous Ladybug. And I was so happy when I drew this. I thought it turned out amazing. I love how her hair turned out. I love that her eyes sparkle, and she looks like she's having a good time. So I really enjoyed this one. I love how the line art worked out for this one. I really put a lot of emphasis on it. I put a lot of emphasis on getting the pose right and the shading right. I really like how her hands turned out. This makes me really happy because I feel like you can really see my improvement here. And just being able to capture a dynamic pose, like compared to this, there's a reason I did not draw full body. It's because I wasn't as confident to do that. And it's really hard to see movement. Like I really wanted to oh god, I can't even speak. I really wanted for the viewer to see that it was really windy, but I feel like I didn't capture that as well as I could have. So here, I feel like you can tell that there's movement, and you can tell that there's expression and attitude, and you can see it in her face and her body. So I was really, really, really happy with this. And yeah, this was February of 2019. Since I was abroad for a while, yeah, I was kind of dealing with a bit of an identity crisis. So I quit my job, I left the country, I stayed for a few weeks, and didn't really have much to do, so that's why I drew a lot. Okay. Ooh. Didn't love how this turned out. Once again, I didn't plan out my colors, so it just kind of doesn't look great, but you know, it was an attempt, and I feel like her expression is better than some of my previous ones. I inked this one recently too. I sketched it while abroad, but I inked it recently. And I know my perspective is off and my lines are off, but I do really like her pose. So this was me attempting more dynamic poses involving like foreshortening different angles. So I'm happy with this one. So also this month inspired by my job hunt because I'm currently unemployed right now, which is funny because a year ago I was like at this time I was also unemployed. So, yeah, kind of have commitment issues, just saying. And there's this one laying in bed from top view, and I really like how this turned out. I had a lot of trouble with this, like here, trying to show that her knee was up. I feel like I did a pretty good job. And this is what I drew last night. So, yeah, this is where I'm at. Finally caught up. I know it's a really long video, but this is it. Thanks for watching.